Good morning. I'm a little under the weather. Started getting sick yesterday. Super fun, am I right? I also decided to kind of revamp my setup here, and I got out an old ring light that I had from back in my photography days, and let me know if you guys like this lighting setup better than my old one. In other news, I'm going to put this up here. That way, when people kind of duck in and out, they know what's going on here. I was able to pick up some more modeling paste on Amazon that just arrived literally right as I was about to go live, which is why I'm a few minutes late. So got some modeling paste I'm excited about. Got some more Posca pens because I have been out of any that actually function, mainly on the white. So I think we're going to do something with the white Posca marker today. I'm going to just open that, and for good measure, I'm going to throw this one away so that I remember that it's the bad one. And I also got some more white acrylic paint because I was out of that as well. So good times, everybody. We are rolling. Now, I want to talk about the thing that I am most excited about this morning. One of the reasons I started getting online to do live videos on TikTok was because I was trying to grow my following so that I could get into the Amazon influencer program. And guys, it finally happened. Last night, I was laying in bed and I was like, gosh, what more can I do? I have so many wonderful people on here, and I have so much engagement and all this stuff. What more can I do? And last night, I decided to apply again, and it finally approved me, you guys. I am so excited. So I can start making reviews for them and maybe hopefully start earning some money so that I am not an unemployed freeloader anymore. We'll see. That's still going to be my motto. So today we are making stuff. And I was kind of hoping to have your input on it, but it doesn't look like a lot of you are here this morning. So I would love... Good morning, Linda. Thank you so much for the rose. I am so happy that you are here this morning. And I would love to have some feedback as to what you might like to paint this morning. So feel free to drop a comment. I am sipping on coffee this morning. What is everyone else drinking this morning? It's very good. Fresh, hot oat milk latte is good. Okay, so like I said, I want to use my Posca marker that I finally got in the mail today because I've been missing the white. And then I'm thinking it might also be fun to use this modeling paste that I also got in the mail today because my last bit of modeling paste had dried up, which was unfortunate. Oh, also one other thing, you guys. I've had a lot of people ask me about this palette. And it turns out that, well, first of all, I bought this palette at Five Below. They don't sell it at Five Below anymore. It's super cute. This is a brush rest. This turns into your little water jar for watercoloring and all that. I found it on Amazon. They have it. I added it to my storefront last night. Super cute. Okay, let's get some inspo going. So I'm thinking for this morning, I've got my sketchbook. I was going through it last night. Right, Aaliyah? It's so cute. I'm like, man, so adorable. And it's funny because I was getting some people last night, was it yesterday, I think, who were commenting on another video who found my post because I guess they were looking for turtles, and my video came up because it had the turtle in it. And they were like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. where did you get this from? And I'm like, I got it from Five Below, but it's been years ago. And I've even gone back several times to see if I could re-find it. And unfortunately, it wasn't there anymore. So I don't know if they just don't sell it anymore at mine, or they just don't sell it anymore there at all. But it's so cute. So anyway. All right. So I was just flipping through my sketchbook last night. This turtle, this little turtle, he's so cute. It's just this little palette mixer, you know, or little mixing palette, whatever you want to call it. Ceramic. Look at that little face. Okay, so I have been summoned. Rob is here. Rob, let me tell you, you have been summoned because I have big news. I finally got approved for the Amazon Influencer Program. And guess what? I got up at midnight last night as I was laying in bed and got approved to record my 3 videos for the next part of the process. And guess what I reviewed? Cascade Green Boo. Cascade Green. Yes, honey. So yes, you have been summoned. Yeah. So funny. It's always Cascade Green. But so anyway, so this is a little brush rest, which since I'm an influencer now on the influencer program, if you want to get this little turtle, it's in my Amazon influencer shop now, which I wish I could tell you the URL. But I will find it and I will post it somewhere. I think it's like amazon.com/shop/Jen Shannon artist. Something like that. I think I have to get to 1,000 followers on TikTok before I'm allowed to like have a link that I can actually have clickable. So anyway, that's what this little guy is. So people are finding my turtle because they're looking for turtles on TikTok and this keeps showing up. So anyway, all right, so back to it. I was looking through my sketchbook last night, trying to get ideas for what I wanted to do today. Some of this is fun. Some of it's ugly, but this is one I like to do color studies in. So I'll take just some different colors, mix them up, and then paint with them and just kind of see what it looks like. So what do you guys think? Should we do something kind of abstract like this? Thank you, Aaliyah. We could do, this is one of my favorite exercises for when I'm feeling stuck. New here and following. Thank you, Labori Bori. Hopefully I said that correctly. Welcome. Thanks for watching. This is one of my favorite exercises to do when I'm feeling creatively stuck, is just creating a 9 block and doodling inside of it. Okay. Is restricted because it redirects users to purchase products outside TikTok. Okay. Whatever. I don't care. Okay. The center one is awesome. This one, yeah, is really pretty. And sometimes this can give you, what I like about this is that it gives you inspiration for bigger things. Like, for example, this one right here, I'm going to bring it a little closer for you to see. Thank you. I appreciate that, Labora Bori or Bori. So like this one right here was the inspiration for this one that I ended up doing. Super simple, but I feel a certain way when I look at it. So there's that. Again, just kind of playing with some of the colors here. I don't know what I was going for here. It did not turn out, obviously. And then here's another color study. We've got Rob, bat signal right here, Cascade Green, Chinese Vermilion, and Cassell Brown. I love this. We could do something like this, where we bring in some of our stenciling even, because I got that paste in the mail. Okay, shoot. And then, oh, like Boricua. I'm so white. I'm sorry. Boricua. And so we could do something like that. do a simple little floral guy. I'm not really good at this style of flower. So yeah, what are you guys thinking? I did this one yesterday on a live, or one similar to it. We did this one, or I guess it goes this way. Well, it could really go anyway, but bye, Rob. Thanks for stopping in. See ya. Here's another one where we did, or where I did just a floral that has some patterns in some of it. I think you can see that. Oh, thank you. You're so kind. I appreciate that. And then we've got some more abstracts here. This was a collage abstract. This has a lot of mixed media in it. So we've got some collage work here and here. We've got some pen work, some marker, some acrylic paint. We've got some pastel ink. This is probably one of my favorites. Let's see here. Aaliyah says, that's very pretty. That's what I've been inspired to do lately. Oh, for your page. Thank you. I love that. So you can see we use some of that paste here and over here. We've got gold foiling. I love how it stretches across both pages. That's like one of my favorites. Sorry, you guys. Like I said, I know you probably weren't here at the beginning, but I started coming down with something yesterday. So my nasaliness is just very nasal today. Then there was this one where I was playing with some acrylics. Unfortunately, my 14-year-old stole most of my acrylics, and when she returned them, not only were they filthy as ever on the outside, they were empty on the inside. So, and I can't really afford to replace them because I'm an unemployed freeloader. So yeah, we could do something similar like this. Oh yeah, tell me more. Do tell me more. It makes me feel better that I'm not the only one. Here's a little 4 block with these colors. And then I don't know what I was doing here. I think I was just trying different marks and textures. Aaliyah says, I'm also unemployed right now. Have been for a minute. Same here. Got laid off on Halloween. I have a business that I've been working towards, but it's one of those long-term or long game ones that it's going to take a while to be profitable. And I need some income like yesterday. So I have been rejected for more jobs than I care to admit. I have applied for more jobs than I care to admit. And yeah, that's why I'm going for the Amazon influencer. Finally got approved for it last night. And so yeah. Let's see here. Oh, that's awesome. I like this one right here. We did one of these, I want to say last week. But yes, I love this one too. Chronic coughing. Something is definitely going around. Stay well and take meds right away. It's horrible. Yeah. Yeah. I saw my bestie on Friday night and she said they had been sick. And I was like, don't worry about it. Just come over anyway. I'll be fine. She has an almost 2-year-old. And now I have 4 kids, but they're all a bit older now, between 8 and 14. And I remember when my kids were little, they were little germ factories. And she would always be like, if they're sick, I don't want to come over. And I'm like, stop, you know, because they're always going to be sick. Just toughen up your immune system. Well, now she's always sick. Anyways. Okay, so let me see what else I have in here. We've got just these random circles. We've got some more botanicals. This one is way too dark for my liking. Oh, we got a little silverfish in there, apparently. I don't know if you guys ever get those. I've never had one in my sketchbook. Oh, he's still tucked in there, I think. Whatever. They like paper, and we get them in Florida. Here's like some extremely bright colors, as you can tell. Was trying some layering techniques here. I started to anyway on my website, and apparently this live is not eligible for monetization since I already directed people to my shop. So I don't know if I'll like get banned if I mention my website, but it is in my profile section. So basically every day I go live, and during one of my lives, I usually go live twice a day, we'll make it's like a follow along sort of situation where we make something pretty. Let me see if I have the other ones right here somewhere to show you. Here we go. Here's some of the ones that we've done that you can see. Jen Hopkins, hi! Long time no see, my dear friend. How are you? Jen is a longtime friend of mine, like in-person friend. Here's some more that we've done together. She's commissioned me to do some stuff. If you go to my website, and I have a supply list that says this was gifted to me instead of a purchase date. She's one of the ones that gifted me stuff in exchange for work I've done for her. So you can see some of these works that we've done together. So thank you. It's funny because I look at these and I feel like I don't have a style. Yeah, the beach one, that one, I actually am very proud of. So anyway, we've made all these together. I'm still in the process of uploading some of them. I'm missing one, maybe two. Oh, here's one. This is one of the ones I'm missing. And yeah, here's another one. And here's another one. This one was a hoot. That's a story for another time because, you know, I could talk all day, but my voice will definitely give out after a while. So anyway, I have these available for very reasonable prices on my website. It's for US, it's $32 shipped for free, and for a 10 by 10 and 36 with free shipping for a 12 by 12 of the art that we create together. So yeah. All right, let's see here. This was supposed to just kind of be a messy look into space, I guess, maybe. I don't know. With a space flower, whatever. This was just a sketch I did. I don't know why I randomly put a sketch in my watercolor book, but I did. This was a course I was doing in Skillshare that I apparently never finished because the tape's still on it. And then this is me trying to watercolor basically this, but another version of it here. And I have not done anything else since. So let's do something. What are we doing? Do we want to do something like this? That's awesome. I love how you do the flowers. They look so good. Thank you. And I post these replays for free on my website as well. So you can watch the replays on any of those florals you just saw. You can watch the replay of the beach. I'll be posting, I think, probably today. I'm still trying to catch up on a couple of them. There's a couple I still need to photograph to get up on the website as well. So I feel like I'm kind of leaning towards either this style or this style. Not necessarily like exactly the same, but kind of just the idea of layering watercolors and bringing in texture, or really making an abstract sort of thing. So what are your thoughts? What do you think? Let me know. Feel free to leave a comment. I'm kind of feeling in the springy mood, so probably use lighter colors, but I'm kind of feeling this one. this one. So let's start deciding on the color scheme. We'll have to do a smaller one just because these are easier to keep cohesive. I'm going to use a piece of washi tape. Oh, this one's pretty much gone. All right, we'll use a textured mixed pastel colors. Okay, sounds good. We'll do it. So I'm going to use just some washi tape like this. Get that off there. I'm going to just put it along the bottom and wrap it around because that's going to help keep the paper from buckling as we're working. And let me bring this back down for people who are popping in and out. And take a sip of my coffee. That's good coffee. Let's see here. I think for this, we can bring in some of this Chinese Vermilion, some of this Cobalt Teal, and probably some of this Indian Yellow Deep. And apparently I have some hairs in it. We bathed my dog the other day and she's been shedding super bad. So I made the mistake of brushing her and I had the hair all over my clothes and I kept trying to get it off and it just wasn't working. Okay, so I'm going in with my Princeton Neptune number 10 round. And I'm going to just start by grabbing some of that Chinese Vermilion. And I'm just going to make a blob. Make sure that I have some extra water on that. And this paper tends to dry pretty quick. So while it's wet, I'm going to grab my Princeton catalyst that's over on my desk that I need to go grab. All right, got it. This is one of their catalysts. It's the 30, I don't know what it's called, 30 something. And I'm just gonna kind of bring in some texture like that. And then go back to my fluffy brush and really start moving some of that around a bit. And then we'll take some of this Cobalt Teal and drop in a little bit. You want to keep that pretty light right in this area so it's more of an easy transition. And I think for this, we'll want to leave a little bit of white space in between. So just, you know, dab around, make sure that you leave a little bit of space in between each one so that you have some areas of interest. Some harsh edges are good. I'm going to just take this and kind of do the same thing there. And then I'm going to grab some of that Indian Yellow Deep and just add a little bit in between here. It's going to turn a little green because of the blue. Totally okay. I'm just going to bring my already used paper towel in. And then we're just going to keep going. Let's grab some more of that Chinese Vermilion. Oh, it's a little bit too dark, so I'm just going to add some extra water to it. Move it around. There we go. Again, just picking up some of that extra pigment. Oh, I'm so sorry, I keep sniffling, you guys. There we go. And then let's grab some more of that yellow. And this is a very strong yellow, so I'm going to dilute it a bit. I'm just dragging it throughout, giving it a nice pastel-y look. It's still vibrant, but without being like in your face. So sorry about these sniffles, you guys. Okay, hopefully you can still see that all right. And then I'm going to bring in some more of that Cobalt Teal. Grab a little bit more. I love those blooms. And let's bring this, I don't really want to connect it there. Tell you what, let's just bring some up like this. And let's bring in some of that yellow again. The whole idea is to kind of just make it sort of look visually even in your own mind. It's not going to be the same for everybody that looks at it. But isn't that how art goes, to each their own? Okay, might add just a few little yellow dots over here. And then just for fun, again, I'm going to go in, well, here, I'll start a little bit down here. And then I'm going to go up like that. And I think this one already has a good streak going through it. I don't really want to overdo it with the catalyst, so I'll just leave that off to the side now. Okay, so I'm going to leave that. I'm going to go ahead and dry it. It's going to be loud for like 3 seconds and then it will get quiet again. So give me just a few minutes and I will be ready to continue. So sorry, you guys. Okay, now we are done with layer 1. It's time to bring in some layer 2. I think I'll keep the Chinese Vermilion. And what I want to start doing is bringing in the Cascade Green, which is over here, the Cassell Brown, which is right here, and let me see, I think I'm going to bring in, no, I think those are good. I don't want to go too far on the pink, so I think I'll just keep it with the Chinese Vermilion. Okay, so this is kind of our base, and our next one's going to kind of tone down the Easter egg approach to this. And so what we're going to do is kind of the same thing that we just did, but we're going to bring in some of these brown tones and the Cascade Green, which is going to help bring in some green and blue tones. So to start, I'm going to go in with the Cascade Green, which is by Daniel Smith. And apparently there's some more doggy hair. My puppy dog. I love her. And I'm going to kind of keep those same tones in the same areas. And it doesn't need to be perfect. Again, we're just layering. We're not looking to, we don't want to cover too much, but we want it to kind of just complement what's already there. All right, and while that is still wet, I'm going to go in with the Cassell Brown. And we're going to kind of use that as the transition color for the yellow, because that's going to keep it warmer. And the one thing I really love about this Cassell Brown is how granular it is. You can see that it leaves like almost a sandy, oh, that's a bit too dark, this sort of sandy tone. All right, I know it looks bad now, guys, but I promise it's gonna turn out. You just gotta trust the process. We're gonna lift up some of that because that was a bit darker than I had hoped. Gonna bring in some more of that Cascade Green. Again, just kind of tapping it out there. Ugh, my nose, you guys, I'm so sorry. It's so irritating. I'm gonna pick up some of those granules because some of them are a little too concentrated. And this paper does dry kind of quickly, which is a little bit annoying as well, but work as quickly as you can. There's nothing that can't be lifted up. All right, I'm gonna go back in with some more of that Chinese Vermilion. Oops. Again, I know that's quite a bit, so we're gonna smooth it out. I'm gonna add some more over here. And let's add some more up here just for good measure. I'm just using these little dabbing motions because I like the texture that it gives as you dab. It kind of gives a little inconsistency in the painting as it's drying. And again, I'm just going to kind of go in here. Add some more of that color. I'm going to lift up some of these harsher edges here. just by adding some water. Might need to kind of scrub with the tip of the brush for some of those, but that's okay. Okay. Let's see, I want to add just kind of a little bit of a darker area for this Cassell brown and pink to kind of meld together in this corner. I think the yellow under it is a little more overpowering than I would have hoped. But you know, it's a learning process and it is what it is. You can probably hear my son in the other room. They're out of school today and tomorrow. Okay, now I'm going to take just a little bit more of that Cascade green and just add a little bit there. I might add just a bit here too. Okay. All right. So this is a good base. I'm going to hit it with my heat gun real quick and I will be right back. Actually, before I do that, I did lose a little bit of what I wanted to see here. So let me just do this and then go back in and do this here. This one looks good still. I think this is probably dry, so I might not get much from it, but there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now we're going to work on the next part of the process, which is going to be using the paste, which is so fun. Let me find my stencils, which I thought I cleaned up and put away, but they might actually be over here. Let's see here. I am a hot mess this morning, you guys. I am so sorry. Normally, I am much more put together than this. There we go. Here's one. Here's two. Those aren't the ones I'm looking for. Where is my other little stack of them? I usually keep them in my drawer, which I cleaned the other day. Hang on. All right, well, I know there's somewhere. I bet they're right in front of my face and I'm just like not even seeing them. So we might just end up having to use one of these other ones that I wasn't planning to use. Okay, so we've got these stencils. Let me see, since there are none of you here, I can get away with this. Let's see. All right, you guys, I'm back. So sorry. I had to end that last live. Couldn't find the stencils I was looking for and really needed to go deal with my nose. And, well, nobody was watching it anyway, so it didn't matter. So I am back and I have my stencils. Not the ones I was looking for. Still can't find those. But betting my daughter stole them. But I do have these. I don't want to use that one, but I think this one's probably a little too busy for what I want for this particular base painting that we're doing. And if you missed the live that we created this in, don't worry, I'll have replays available. But I think I want to use this one. So I'm thinking in terms of a strategy of where I want this to be. I'm thinking probably somewhere along the lines of here. And I'm going to use this modeling paste I just got in the mail this morning. It's brand new, fresh, not dried out, which is great. Just going to set that over there. And I'm going to take my palette knife here, grab just a little bit of that. And what I like to do with this is really just go over it, but kind of feather it out. So it kind of starts mid stencil and then kind of fades out in the middle of another part of the stencil. And if it gets this coffee in it, that's okay. I don't mind. You can see it's taking some of the coffee with it. Might want to get that one in there because we can paint over it. There we go. All right, so then I'm just going to peel this back. And now we've got this texture that will dry with this modeling paste here. And then we can maybe take this and add another little bit. Kind of want to add one. Well, I'm trying to decide if I want one over here or over here. I'm thinking I want to bring in some either white paint or white ink to bring in a nice large floral over here. So I might want some sort of texture over here, but I don't know if I want to bring in one of these florals as part of that texture just because it could compete Whereas this is kind of nice being here because it's not competing with it. So I may just leave that as is. Okay, tell you what, I will add a little bit to over here, and I'm going to put this, I don't want to do that part, so let's rotate it like this. And I'm going to just touch this area up with it like this. There we go. I want that guy filled in right there though. Okay, and now I'm just going to lift. And so that's what we'll have to work with for that. Perfect. All right, so we're good with this. I'm going to just clean off the palette knife. If this was still perfectly white, I would save this and put it back in the paste jar. But I don't want to soil it and get it all dirty for next time in case I want to keep it plain white. So this is going to take just a little bit to dry, but we're going to work on the next part of the painting while it is drying. So somebody told me one of the tricks to making sure this doesn't dry out is using a rubber band, like a really thin rubber band around this. And I actually love that idea. I don't have a rubber band, so I'll probably put some maybe plastic wrap or something around it and tighten it that way. But for now, I'm just going to tighten it really good so that that doesn't happen while we're talking. One second, I gotta sneeze. Oh, wait. Okay. In case you don't know, I am sick. Good times. Okay, so now we've got that. Let's see here. I want to bring in, let me see what we've got. I think I'm gonna bring in some, should we bring in some foil? Kind of trying to decide if I want to bring in some foil or not, or just some heavy-bodied paint like this, or some of this. Trying to decide that. I'm going to move this over here for now. Let's see here. I think we'll bring in some of this acrylic paint. I just got this in the mail as well because I was completely out of white. And let's take it with some, you know what, let's take it on a Q-tip. I like Q-tips. I'm going to take this and just put some on the tip of a Q-tip like this. And I'm just going to dab a couple of white dots in random places. Now, I know that these areas where the modeling paste is are ugly because they look like coffee, but once those dry, we'll go over them with some paint and they won't look so bad. I'm gonna make some smaller dots over here. Okay, now before I go any further, I want to go ahead and get that that flower down on the page. So I'm going to use my white India ink. It is this Bombay White India ink. And I am just going to draw with the dropper itself. Now this dropper is like messed up, so it doesn't like suck up the ink like my other India ink bottles do. So what I'm gonna do is just take this and get as much on here as I can. But I like to draw with the dropper because it does give me a nice jagged, uneven, scratchy almost quality to the line. Hi Yoda Mom, how you doing? So got enough on there. Don't want it to drip too bad. And I think I'm just going to take this and kind of bring it up like this and over. All right, yeah, this isn't gonna work for this size. So let me just grab this script liner brush, and dab it on in there, and we'll just do this. The reason I don't like to use a brush is because it does thin out the ink, so it's not quite as dark as I would like it to be. This is why I like drawing with the dropper. You know what? I've got an idea. I do have another white ink. Let me see if it's up here. But it is, it's not waterproof. Let me see. I can just swap the droppers. Let me see. I might have left it on my little art rolly tray. No, I know I had it up here the other day, but I just cleaned my desk off yesterday and I don't remember what I did with that. So whatever, it is what it is. I just really don't like how thin it gets. So we'll just struggle through drawing with the dropper. Thanks, Labori Bori. I had to log off and go deal with my nose and couldn't find the stencils I was looking for, but I got back on. Looks like it might be about time for a new one of these as well. I guess that's the problem with actually making art every day. You can go through supplies faster. And when you're an unemployed freeloader, you know, can't always afford the supplies. Okay, that looks really stupid. Let's try this. What is that called that you're using? This is Bombay India ink in white by Dr. P.H. Martins. So what I'll probably do is maybe just kind of double do the leaves, because this is an abstract, so it doesn't need to be an accurate representation. It can just kind of be extra drawn. We'll do the same here. I just wish that this dropper worked better. Where did I put that other white ink? Because that would make this so much easier to deal with. Let me just make sure it's not under here, because I know I had all 4 of them under here at one point, but I don't see it. Yeah, so there's another white ink that I had. So I have these. These are the ones that I like because they're permanent. They don't, like when they get wet, end up being something that ends up moving. Make sure I didn't put it in my drawer here. No. Normally I would use a brush, and that's what I had started doing. But the problem with using a brush is that it doesn't apply the ink nice and thick like this. And it ends up not really showing up. I love drawing with the dropper. And I do have another vial like this, or jar, whatever you would want to call it. But it's not a permanent white ink. And I had it yesterday on my shelf over here where I keep all of it. But I cleaned, and you know what happens when you clean and you actually put stuff back where it belongs. You can't ever find it ever again. So I was looking for it, and I definitely cannot find it. And the dropper on that particular one doesn't work. So, yeah. Oh, wait, here it is. Here it is. Okay. Apparently it fell. Yes. Let's try this guy. All right, so I'm just going to swap these two since this dropper doesn't work. Ew, this one's like crusty. I can feel it like crusting in there as I'm trying to like push it. Sick. I don't think this one's gonna work either, guys. Let's see. and push something out. That's what she said. Yeah, see, I feel like when I misplace things, I remember a lot better where it is than when I put it back where it belongs. Oof. There we go. Okay, girl. Get it? That is not cute, you guys. There's like something crystally up in here that I can feel. I don't know that that's going to be a good alternative. So, whatever. We're just in for it now. Oh, you know what? I have one other idea. Let's grab... I don't know if this is a good idea because that is adhesive sizing. So that's not going to work. This is ink. And do I have another little squeeze bottle? I don't think I do. No. Okay, I thought I might have had another squeeze bottle. Whatever. We'll just go with it. Anyway, I don't even remember what I was talking about. Whatever. I'm sure this is still salvageable in some way, shape, or form, but anyway, yeah. That is ugly. Ugly. Normally this goes much, much better than what is happening here. So I think what we'll do is just kind of finish up. Do the best you can. It's not ugly, it's creativity. Thank you. I appreciate your encouragement, boo. I think what we'll do is finish up with this thing the best we can and then see what we can do to pivot. Because pivoting is definitely necessary on this one. Oh dear, that blob. Okay. Nice and ugly. Okay. Excuse me. I'm so sorry, you guys. Let me wipe that chunky monkey off. You are right about that. We made something real ugly the other night together. And it ended up being like a super fun experience for everybody. Didn't turn out at all. Actually, I should have that over here. And here we go. Did not turn out, but it was one of those things that like kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then somebody was like, oh, I was like, you know what, let's just spray it with my water sprayer thing and see if it gets interesting. It got interesting. And then someone was like, oh, one time in art school, I made this thing and it kept getting worse. And my teacher took it and just ran it under the faucet and turned into something so cool. And I was like, you guys want to go on a field trip? And they're like, yeah. So I took them on a field trip to my kitchen. We ran it under the water and it basically turned into this. And then we dumped salt all over it. And then we came back in here and we dabbed all over with a paper towel. And this is what came of it. And then we added gold splatter. So it's not the cutest thing, but it was fun. That's one of the reasons I like doing these lives, is that we have a lot of fun usually. All right. Especially when I'm not feeling under the weather and more lackluster. I'm definitely very lackluster today. Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna give this some time to dry before I decide what's going to happen with it next. And I'm gonna put the lid back on this, and this is going to go in the garbage. Okay, so I'm thinking for this, I'm gonna bring in some gold ink because I love gold ink and that's my boo. This is the gold ink that I love to use more than anything in the world. It is the Winsor & Newton ink in gold. Gonna give it a good shake because it does settle at the bottom. And let me get all that stuff off there. Move this over a tad. I'm gonna grab that script liner brush I mentioned. This is just a Master's Touch one from Hobby Lobby. I never buy stuff for full price at Hobby Lobby, FYI, so you shouldn't either. It's probably like a $2 or $3 brush. On sale, it was probably $2 or $3, but I like this one. And I'm just adding dots to those little white dots that we made with the Q-tip with the acrylic paint. I'll do that over here too, but I'll make it a little bit bigger. Oh yeah. I gotta say, I don't use my fingers very much anymore. I did when I was younger and in art school and all that stuff, but okay. So now I'm just going to take this liner brush and I'm going to kind of break up the vertical aspect of it by making some horizontal lines like this. And I might do the same up here once this is dry, but I'm just going to give that some time. I think I'll leave that alone for now. And this is still a bit wet. Let me touch this and see how this is. It's still a bit tacky, so that still needs a little bit more time to dry. And all right, let's bring in the Posca pen. So this is one of my favorite things to do in a mixed media sort of situation. Let me grab one of these. So I'm gonna move this off to the side for a second. This is a brand new one because all my other ones dried out. So I got a little shipment of a couple of art supplies I was out of, including these little Posca markers. And so far this has been my favorite white because it actually shows up. But if you've got another suggestion that works better, by all means, let me know. So I'm going to turn the paper, and usually I just like to kind of doodle in some of these areas. So I'm just going to start doodling, and I'm going to turn my paper so I don't get my hand in this wet ink right now. But I'm going to start by just adding circles with dots in the middle. And I'll probably go back and make these dots gold because that's kind of my MO, but we'll see. I'm just following the watercolor itself and looking for where the border, like right here, there's this pink that comes in and around here and down and around. So I'm just kind of following the border of that. There. For liner brushes, I use the ones they sell on Amazon that are for nail art. They work so well. Samantha says, have you tried white Graby acrylic markers? I have not. I've tried all sorts of other like white pen type things, like the gel pens. I've had all sorts of different gel pens, and none of them seem to do as well as the acrylic paint pens. And then in terms of the liner brushes, I have, so the one that I just showed you, and then I have, where is it? It's hiding in my jar of is it? Oh, here it is. My jar of brushes. This one. It's an X-Liner 20-0. I suck at using this one. That's my woofer back there. I think I'll stop it there. Oh, these people that try to send me these requests to co-host my videos. Okay. All right. So you can see what we've done here so far. You know what? Let me just take it a little bit further. Okay. So we've got this nice texture going here. We have these dots going here. I'd like to bring, what kind of marker? Oh, no, it's okay, Crystal. Happy to answer. It's a Posca. I always just call them Posca pens, but it is an acrylic paint marker. And this one is the 0.7 millimeter bullet shaped uni Posca. Yeah, hopefully that helps. I bought mine in a 2-pack. It came with a black and a white. Okay, so let's move on. Sometimes I like to draw like some fun shapes in and of, you're very welcome. In and of some of this, but because I want this to be, you know, somewhat simplistic, but also, you know, let me undo this since we don't need this anymore and it's bothering me. Because I want this to say somewhat simplistic. Oh, thank you so much, Labori Bori. Thank you so much for joining. And I hope you feel better as well. Us sickos gotta stick together, you know what I mean? Oh, this came apart. Whatever, let's get rid of this then. Take care. You're welcome. See you again soon. Because I want this to stay more simplistic, I think what I'll do is not bring in some of the more crazy doodles that I do, but maybe bring in some more enhancements that don't involve the crazy doodles. So what I might do instead is cap this, bring back my watercolors here, and let me make sure you guys can see that for those of you that are just joining. And I'm going to take that same script liner brush, and the color that I used here is called Chinese Vermilion. So I think what I'll do is just take that and let me add some water to it because I feel like it really needs to be thinned out a little bit here. I don't want it to be super, super dark. And maybe we'll just kind of add some dots. I'm just taking from some of these darker areas to try to lighten them up a bit. So you can see how that adds, let me bring it in closer for you to see how that adds a nice subtle texture without being super in your face. So just kind of showing you. I'm not going to do it across the whole entirety of the pink, but I'll do it kind of just around this stem here while I'm waiting for the rest of this ink to dry, because this white flower turned into, not flower, this botanic turned into a hot mess, and we're going to need to figure out how to work with that. So I'm just kind of adding some more of these details while we wait for that to continue drying. And I'm still trying to kind of decide what I'm going to do with it. I have a few options, one of which is potentially drawing over it with a gold outline, and this kind of just being like a messy background of it, so it would be the same gold as this, which is what I'm leaning towards. One of my daughters is coming downstairs and being silly with my dog, if you hear that in the background. She and my dog have a very special bond. It's quite cute. And I'm just kind of taking it from being very concentrated dots into being more sparse dots here. I might also just add a couple here. There we go. Okay, that looks good. All right, let me put this back on here. Still sipping on my coffee. How about you guys? Okay, let's see here. This is pretty much dry with the exception of this right here. So I'm going to hit it with my heat gun. It's going to be loud for like a second and then it'll go away. So give me just a sec. All right, that's good enough. Now let me grab another paper towel because I just put my hand in this lovely little thing that had that extra modeling paste in it. And I don't want to get that on the painting as we're working. So let me wrap that up in this paper towel and then wipe my desk. Ugh. It's like if you've ever had a child and you've changed a diaper when they were like, you know, a baby and you had to put that zinc oxide cream on their butts. That's what it's like getting on your hands. Takes me back. I have 4 kids, so there was a good, 8+ years of doing that. Okay. There we go. What the crap is this? I don't know what that is, but that shouldn't be there. Okay, moving on. We're going to go back to the gold ink. I'm going to shake it up really good. And grab my liner brush. Dab that off. And in order to give it that kind of jagged, abstract look that I'm looking for, I'm going to hold it at the end. That's about to drip. And I'm going to just loosely draw like this. And then the same over here. Ugh. And my shaky hand. Might add some little thing like that to each of them, almost like there's a little bud trying to grow from there or something. I don't know. We're just making them up now. There. Okay. I think that helped our cause with that hot mess white ink underneath it. However, I do feel like we need some more gold ink there just to help the gold ink not disappear, since it sort of did right there. It's like it got a little extra thin. So I'm just going to go over what we did here to make sure it stays nice and thick. And I'm going to just kind of add some little extras there and there. Okay. And maybe we'll just add some little centers to, again, draw away from the white underneath. We swear this was intentional, everybody. All right. There we go. Great. All right. So that's good so far. Let me cap this for now. We'll come back to that in a second. I think this is pretty much dry. And we need it to not look like the coffee staining that it currently looks like. So we need to paint it white. So I've got some white acrylic here, and I'm trying to decide the best way to do this without making everything around it white. Wondering if bringing that Q-tip back is going to be our best mode of painting it here. So let's bring in the Q-tip, get some acrylic paint on it, get this off of my arm, and let's just take a peek and see if this will do the trick. And I think it will. So this is modeling paste that we applied with a stencil. And that stencil still had some dried coffee on it from when I had used it to make some collage papers. That's instant coffee, which means instant mess. I figured if I painted this with a brush, it would go too far and get all over the watercolor underneath it, which is not what I want. So we are using a Q-tip to paint it what we can. My concern is that that instant coffee is going to rise to the surface of the paint that we're working with and try to dry on the top, because that is what I feel like I'm starting to see here. But we'll see. Maybe it'll just need a second coat. Or maybe what we'll do is use a fan brush and hit it with some of this gold so it looks more antique-y. We'll see. See, this is what I didn't want to have happen, is the acrylic miss and get on the watercolor, but this is what happens when you don't clean your crap, Jen. Okay. I think that's probably going to be as good as it gets for now until I can put another layer on it. Sorry, you guys that are just joining. I am sick. All right, let's grab some more. We're going to do that same to this. Okay. Still not my favorite, but it's getting there. Gonna give that just a few more minutes to dry and probably put another coat on there. This might take a little bit to dry because I think I put that on a little too thick. So I'm just gonna kind of smooth that out a little bit more. There. All right, I'm gonna hit this with my heat gun. It's gonna be loud for like 3 seconds and then it'll mute it or tone it down a bit. So give me just a minute. All right, that's close enough. Now let's go in with a little bit more. Already making a mess of my brand new tube of paint. I'm gonna have to clean that. Okay, I think that second layer is really going to make the difference here. Hopefully you can see that difference already in just this one. So let's go ahead and start doing the rest of these guys. Ugh, see, I got it on the watercolor. That's not what I wanted. Note to self, Jen, clean your stencils next time. Don't be lazy. Okay. That's probably about as good as it's gonna get. Now we'll move back down to this one and add another coat here. So for those of you just joining, this is modeling paste that I used with a stencil. And don't be Jen. My name is Jen. Don't be me. Clean your frickin' stencils before you use it with the modeling paste. I did not. I had used it with some instant coffee, and then I used it here and it stained it. The modeling paste is coffee, and I'm like, oh, I'll just go back and paint it. Easier said than done, if you want it to be white anyway, and thin. If it's a thicker application, then you can get away with it a little bit more easily with painting it and not getting it on your background. Okay, I'm gonna grab just a teensy bit more for this one. There we go. I do still feel like I'm seeing some of that coffee show through here, which again is not what I want, but I think what we'll do is just use some of that gold ink on a fan brush to kind of try to mask the fact that that's happening. It's not a big deal, and it's not the end of the world. It's just not what I had envisioned for that area, but it is what it is, and we're just gonna go with it because this painting is just exactly what that is all about. We have had several instances of that throughout this painting, and it's just turning into a life of its own, and that is what happens many, many, many times in a painting. I'm just trying to clean this up before I close it. There we go. Yeah, I'll bring this in closer so you can see what's happening. So 2 coats of white paint, you can still see the coffee's trying to pull through, and that's not really what we wanted. So whatever. So we're gonna go ahead and grab this gold ink and our fan brush. And I'm gonna take this gold ink and open it. Fan brush doesn't like to fit in here, but I just squeeze it like this and get this dog hair off. Squeeze it, drop it in there, get the edges. And then I like to take a paper towel and just kind of dab so that it's not quite so saturated. And then I'm going to hold it sideways and just kind of dab like this, maybe even a side to side. But because this is probably still a bit wet with the acrylic paint, I don't want to disturb it too much. Some of these smaller areas here. And we're not going to do we're not going to cover it in gold. We're just kind of doing that. And then I'll just kind of take my finger and break up what looks like tiger stripes into more of a messy look like that. And I'll do the same thing here. I'm just going to plop that into some water, and again, use my finger. Again, not my favorite thing in the world but it is what it is. Okay, so now let's go back with our black Posca marker, which is here. And again, I'm just going to bring back that piece of paper to get it going because this is a brand new one. There we go. And we're going to start bringing in some contrast around these areas. And so what I'm going to do is start by just kind of outlining some of these. So you can see what that looks like. And you don't have to do all of them, just kind of some of the main ones. You can vary the line width a bit if you'd like to make it more interesting. You could also bring in some dots around. Bring this to a point maybe. Just anything that'll give it some unique visual interest. And let's see here. Some of these are still a little bit wet. And this one has this little interesting area here where the paste didn't end at this little paisley. So what I might do here is just draw this line up to it like this. And maybe just draw like a shape kind of around the back of it. Like that. And then let's see here, here's a little circle we can circle. Here's another little circle we can circle. Another little circle we can circle. I actually like the way that turned out instead of making it a rugged sort of thing. Let's do this one. I'm going to make this kind of an uneven edge. Might bring this a little bit more out to accentuate it so it looks a little more intentional. Okay. And let's do this one just because I feel like there's not a whole lot going on down the center here. And then I might just make a circle around a couple of these. Circle around a couple of these. Maybe some dots in this white space here. Maybe some in this white space here. Maybe some in this white space here. Okay. And let's see here. Let's move down to here and do a little bit more of this here. So I'll grab this paisley. And again, just kind of make it thicker in some areas. And thinner in others, and maybe add some dotted tails. And then circle this little guy. I don't want to circle the one around the very edge. Here's one here. We'll circle this guy. Circle this guy. This one. I don't know why they're guys, just in my mind they are. And then let's do this one. And then let's also, again, make some uneven edges. And yes, the Posca marker does skip and then send paint splattering everywhere. Okay, let's do, I want to do one of these, but I feel like they're so close here. Let's just do this one. Add this little brain to the end of that one. Add some dots. Maybe I'll just add a little tiny thing there. Maybe I'll add some dots around his little curve here. Maybe a little bit right here. Maybe might be nice to add like a dotted circle around one of these circles, or a couple of these circles. I don't necessarily have a plan when I go into this. It just kind of unfolds as I go. Okay. All right, so far I think we have enough black on this side. I want to bring in a little bit more like childlike over here, childlike marks over here. So I'm just gonna, you know, kind of scribble around and hold my marker to the side, which helps me get that scribbly sort of look. And I definitely want to bring in some stuff around here, but I don't know what I want to do just yet, because I don't want the black to take over everything, but I do want it to accent this. So let me think here. I think the best way to accent this might be to maybe come up on the edges almost like a shadow. And we'll just kind of keep it easy like that. And then let's kind of bring back some of those uneven lines here as well. I don't want to cover up these little dots that I made, so I'm just gonna kind of make those areas of thickness around it. Okay, then let's bring in some more of those dots. Just kind of going around the curvature of the leaves. And maybe down the center we can just bring in some dots as well. Okay. I like the way that turned out. I feel like that really brings in the black on this side without overwhelming this side with black. I do still feel like there's something over here that's still missing, and I don't know what that is. And I think that this area still needs a little something. So it'll come to me in a sec. I just need to look at it for a minute. I don't know that it needs any more black. I'm wondering if maybe what we need is a little bit of gold where we bring in our catalyst again, like we did here, to bring in a little bit of that gold dragging just in this area, maybe a little bit in this area. Or maybe we bring in some of that watercolor to just bring in some texture in here, like we did with the pink in here. Just some options to think through. Let me move this stencil. I gotta wash my stencils. I think I like the idea of bringing in that watercolor here. So I think we'll start there. Let me just dry off my brush over here. And I will grab, you know what, we'll use a different shaped brush too. I'll use this oval mop brush because I haven't done that one yet. And I'm just gonna rinse, grab some of that Cascade green. And let's see here, we'll just, a lot of this is going up and down, so maybe we should do some more horizontal. Oh, I like that. Maybe we'll bring some of that in over here too. Okay. I like it. I think that's good. I think that did what I wanted it to do. So bring this in a little closer for you to see. You can see all the reflective. Can't say it's my favorite work of art ever, but it did the job, right? I think. All right, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Be sure to follow me if you want to, you know, see more art. And I usually go live in the mornings and the evenings. Thank you, Like a Lilac. I typically am on between 8:30 and 8:40 in Easter time in the morning. Did I just say Easter time? I meant to say Eastern time. Ooh, thank you for the donut. Oh, good Cece's mom. I'm so glad that you got to watch and enjoy. Usually the mornings are kind of the more like demonstration time where we're just kind of hanging out and making art together. And then the evenings are more educational time. I typically try to go on between 8:30 and 9 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, that's what I've got going on today. But the kids are out of school, so I was a little late this morning, and I've been feeling a bit under the weather. I started getting sick yesterday, but yep. So that is this morning's piece of work. I hope that you enjoyed watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in another live video.